Silent Hill, a name whispered with fear and dread. The town stood desolate, shrouded in a perpetual fog. Streets lay empty, houses abandoned, their hollow windows like vacant eyes. The air hung heavy with the stench of decay and the unspoken terror that clung to every shadow. The townsfolk were long gone, driven away by the nightmares that plagued their sleep and bled into their waking hours. They spoke of a burned man with a bladed glove, a figure who haunted their dreams, torturing them with their deepest fears. But they also spoke of another horror. A doll, they said, with a wicked grin and eyes that burned with malevolent glee. A doll possessed by the spirit of a serial killer, a soul trapped in a child's plaything. Silent Hill was a breeding ground for fear, a place where nightmares thrived and the line between reality and dreams blurred. And tonight, two of the most terrifying creatures of the night were destined to meet. Freddy Krueger savored the fear that rolled off Silent Hill like a thick fog. It nourished him, fueled his power. He reveled in the whispers that followed his name, the terror he inspired in the hearts of mortals. He had terrorized countless souls in their dreams, turning their deepest fears against them. But Silent Hill held a different kind of fear, a palpable dread that seeped into the very fabric of the town. Freddy felt a presence here, something dark and twisted, something akin to himself. He could sense another predator lurking in the shadows, drawn like him to the town's potent aura of fear. And Freddy Krueger always welcomed a challenge. Chucky, the Lakeshore Strangler trapped in the body of a good guy doll, sauntered down the deserted street, his plastic face twisted into a grotesque grin. He relished the silence, the emptiness. This town, this Silent Hill, was a ghost town, ripe for the taking. He had heard the whispers too, the tales of the dream demon, Freddy Krueger, a being who could kill you in your sleep. How quaint. Chucky preferred his victims awake, their eyes wide with terror as he plunged his blade in. Still, the idea of meeting this Freddy Krueger intrigued him. Two titans of terror, sharing one haunted playground. What could be more fun than a little head-to-head? The air crackled with anticipation. Freddy, a figure of shadow and flame, emerged from the wall of an abandoned factory, his burned face contorted in a cruel smile. He sensed his counterpart nearby, the air thick with a different kind of evil. Come out, whatever you are," Freddy rasped, his voice a gravelly whisper that echoed through the empty streets. "Don't tell me you're afraid of a little fire." A high-pitched giggle echoed through the stillness. It was a sound that sent chills down your spine, a sound that spoke of pure, unadulterated malice. "Afraid? Honey, I invented afraid," a voice sneered. Chucky strutted out from behind a rusted car, his plastic face illuminated by the moonlight. He may have been small, but he radiated an aura of menace that belied his size. His eyes, two blue orbs filled with malicious glee, met Freddy's fiery gaze. "You must be the Krueger fella," Chucky quipped, tilting his head. "Heard a lot about you. They say you're a real scream." Freddy chuckled, the sound like nails scraping against a chalkboard. "And you are?" "The name's Chucky," the doll replied, brandishing a rusty butcher knife. "Wanna play?" The two beings circled each other, predators sizing up their prey, their laughter echoing in the stillness. The air crackled with tension, the silence punctuated by the sound of their ragged breaths. Section 6. A Clash of Titans. The battle began with a roar. Freddy lunged, his bladed glove gleaming under the streetlights. Chucky, deceptively fast, dodged the attack and slashed back, his rusty blade finding its mark on Freddy's arm. Freddy roared in pain and fury, surprised by the doll's strength. He had underestimated him, but Freddy Krueger always learned from his mistakes. The fight raged through the streets of Silent Hill, a whirlwind of fire and fury. Buildings crumbled, the ground cracked as the two titans clashed. Freddy, a master of fear, tried to draw Chucky into the dream world, but the doll was immune, his soul already tainted by evil. Section 7. A Soul for a Soul. Chucky, fueled by rage and a twisted sense of fun, fought with the ferocity of a cornered animal. He might not have Freddy's raw power, but he was cunning, vicious, and relentless. He darted between Freddy's legs, slashing at his ankles, his laughter echoing through the night. He knew he couldn't overpower Freddy, so he had to outsmart him. And then he saw it. A discarded voodoo doll lying in the gutter. An idea sparked in Chucky's malevolent mind. A way to defeat Freddy, to trap him, to absorb his power. Section 8. The Puppet Master's Game. Chucky, with surprising speed, grabbed the voodoo doll. He chanted a few words in a language older than time, his voice taking on a guttural tone. The air crackled with dark energy. Freddy, sensing the shift in power, turned to face Chucky, his burning eyes widening in surprise. "What are you doing?" "Let's just say," Chucky grinned, plunging his blade into the voodoo doll, "I'm tying up a few loose ends." Freddy screamed, a sound of pure rage and agony as his essence was ripped from his body and pulled towards the voodoo doll. He thrashed, he roared, but it was no use. Chucky, the puppet master, had played his hand. Section 9. A new nightmare begins. The light faded from Freddy's eyes as his essence was consumed by the voodoo doll. Chucky, holding the doll aloft, laughed, a sound that echoed through the empty streets of Silent Hill. He had won. Freddy Krueger, the Springwood slasher, the master of nightmares, was gone, absorbed, consumed, trapped within the body of a child's toy. Chucky examined the voodoo doll, a satisfied smirk spreading across his face. He could feel Freddy's power coursing through him, merging with his own. He was stronger now, more powerful than ever before. And he knew exactly what he was going to do with this newfound power. The reign of Chucky had just begun.